How do you navigate between how to make this a sustainable way of life and being free? How does this, there has to be some business acumen in order to make this sustainable, right?
That's a serious shift in mindset, and I don't even know if that's explainable, because I don't know.
A shift in mindset?
Yeah, I don't know if that would have been explainable to me when I was still living in the mindset of you have to work to make a living. Yeah. There just comes a point where you just recognize that the flow is available. And like I said, I'm just coming into it, so I'm not an expert here on this matter.
Mm-hmm. I can explain that.
Go ahead.
I realize that we all have a different purpose in life. And I started to see, because a lot of what came to me came through the generosity of other people, letting me live in their house, somebody handing me a little bit of money, or providing me with food, clothes they don't want anymore, that kind of thing, exchange energy, exchange healing for this, for that. A lot of it started to be on exchange and things I didn't expect. But I had to open up to being able to receive in different ways than working for money and paying for things. I had to let it come to me in new ways. So I had to expand my view of how that was going to come to me. Then the other thing, the second part to that is understanding that everybody has their purpose. And some people have a lot of money. And it might be their purpose to support people like me who are, I need to spend time being within to bring forth the gift that I bring. Mm-hmm. And Kai does too. What we bring forth, we need time to cultivate it. It's like a creation process that's going on within us. And so why not? There's someone who has money, who wants to give, who wants to help. Then they're there to support people like us. And then there's all kinds in between. Right. Some people make a little bit of money, some people make a lot of money, but we're all supporting each other in what we're doing, so we're offering each other support. If you're listening to your inner guidance, like the gift of the plane tickets, those people that gave the plane tickets had an inner intuition guidance to give us those plane tickets. We didn't ask for them. We're not, begging for money or expecting someone to take care of us. We're just being in our hearts and trusting that whatever we need is coming to us. And whatever we desire is coming to us.
Something else just came to me, because I have a teacher in Santa Fe who does a Skype session with some of his people that are with him every Sunday, and my ex-husband and I were on the Skype session with us because my ex-husband's having trouble releasing the relationship, and he was talking about the fact that I really haven't brought much income in during the entire relationship, and my husband has been the provider in that way. But my teacher was talking about the fact that, the two of us came together in a creative relationship, and his creative aspect of the relationship was the job, the money, That can be a creative thing. You can explore that creatively, like when they say in it but not of it, right? Mm-hmm. So you can do the job, you can have the business, you can create wealth, you can do all that in a creative, energetic, spiritual way, right? So that was his source of the relationship, and mine was bringing the esoteric, spiritual aspect into it.
The point... What is the fucking point? That's the question.
I want to address what you said about the club, because this is funny. And all strippers understand this. That when a man walks into a club with that man attitude, they don't understand the conceptual perception of the dancer, right? So a dancer fully understands men and their psychological perspective. Mm-hmm. But the dancer is so smart that the dancer uses that psychological perspective against the man to empty his wallet.
No, is that what happens in these places? I heard that. Are you serious?
The woman holds all the power in there, all the power in a place like that.
Okay.
So, but I suppose that's where the thrill comes from.
Yeah.
If you're playing that male-female game, you know, the man thinks, oh, the poor women. So these men come in and they think they're going to rescue the women. You understand that, right? How silly that is. But the interesting thing for me is, so I did this off and on throughout my 20s. I could never stay with it. Energy was too intense. I could never stay with it for very long.
Right.
So I'd quit for a year or two and then go back. And when I went to the ashram, I would actually fly back to San Francisco to dance for a weekend or something.
And then go back to the ashram?
Oh, yeah.
That's wild.
So then I was coming at it from a completely different perspective. You know, so
You think?
at that point,
Could you get spiritual energy from that environment?
no. I'm not going to say I could get spiritual energy, but I can say that a lot of people that came in to see me were just lonely. I had one guy that was an artist. He never left his house except to come to the club. And he just wanted communication. I had several people like that. They were afraid. I would like counsel them on how to go ask a girl out on a date. They were afraid to go ask a girl. They were afraid to talk to women. That was somewhere that, and they had money. So that was somewhere where they could come. And a lot of it was just comforting people. So, you know, there's so much at play in those places. And I don't regret 1 minute of that, because I think I saved some lives in that process, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, people are always going to judge.
Yep.
It doesn't matter
Right.
where you are or who you are.
No.
People are always going to judge. So if you're more spiritual, you're going to judge the less spiritual. If you're less spiritual, you're going to judge the more spiritual. If you're rich, you're going to judge the poor. If you're poor, you're going to judge the rich. It's always going to happen.
Do you sense judgment doing what you're doing from outside?
Neither one of us do. We don't. You know, people are doing it.
Is
but
that just
it's not-
negative to let in? It's like it's
Yeah,
it's not going to serve a purpose?
It doesn't.
No purpose.
Yeah, it's no purpose. It doesn't really exist. Really, it's not really, because the only thing that exists for you is your consciousness, and the only thing you have any control over is your own consciousness. How you view the world, how the world views you is none of your business. It's
Yep.
Every person on the planet will have a different perspective on what I do, on who I am. And so I don't need to consider that. I just need to be who I am and put that out into the world.
Mm-hmm.
You're always, you know, it's amazing the judgment you get. Like, I just did this beautiful interview with my friend Tim, and he has quite a colorful history too. And we were at the ashram in India, and he just became a Swami. But he has a very colorful past of having been on Wall Street, and you know, a lot of his awakening happened through drugs, and he was very into women and all this stuff. But I was like, this is great. This is a great, juicy interview. You know, we get to get his whole past, and he was into it. He was into every minute of it. He was living his life, whether it was drugs, whether it was women, whatever.
Yeah.
And the interview expressed that, and I was like, awesome. But there's people that are going to judge, and they're going to come and say, you can't find God through drugs, and blah, 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 blah. There's always going to be somebody that judges.
Even on YouTube,
you know?
we both have YouTube channels now, and you get comments every now and then. There's always that person out there that's looking for a way to knock it down or express something negative. That's their nature, and it has nothing to do with me expressing it. How many people am I helping by having my YouTube channel up and by having those little talks? There's a lot of people that I'm helping, and that's all that matters to me. If it helps one person, it doesn't matter if it's 50,000 people that don't like it. It doesn't matter.
I catch myself when I talk to people that I'm coming into the conversation pessimistically, like I'm looking for a loophole. Mm-hmm. Remember, like
I can see that about you.
yeah. I remember W.C. Fields. They had a quote from him when they caught him looking through the Bible. They go, "You looking through the Bible?" He goes, "Just looking for loopholes." I see this more and more and more. People are genuine and they're authentic, and you know, sometimes that's for the moment.
Yeah.
Like, you know, instead of me trying to punch a hole in it, just kind of accept it and watch it and observe it, and then I see more that way. But it's that old, again, it's me
see,
in my own way.
I have a question for you then.
Yeah.
Are you becoming more authentic? And so you're attracting more authentic people in.
But I was also going to express that you're sensing authenticity too. So you are more authentic and you're sensing it in other people as well.
Yeah. Oh, no,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
definitely. I just, yeah, I don't know how to grade that. I don't know what that means, yes. But authenticity is a lot more attractive to me than bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going on a limb to say that. I mean, but, you know, the truth, more, you know, attractive than lies. Yeah, being able to, you know, trust. Yeah, obviously. But it's not always been, you know, you almost accept the fact that everybody's got an angle.
The lower, denser energy and the energy of the planet's rising, so that all that is becoming uncovered. And people are starting to see authenticity because their vibration is raising, even if they're not aware of that's what's happening.
You know, what you said before about a God, they say that drugs and alcohol are, was it a fool's way of seeking God? In other words, if you abuse some things like that, it'll break you down to the point of desperation, and there's only one place to, you know, cry, and that's for God. So that's how you find God. It might be the fast track to God. I think maybe that's what it was.
They must talk about that in
express train.
AA and NA, do they? They do, right? Isn't that the whole basis of it?
There is that concept, yeah. But I think that's what happens when you get broke down enough, you know.
You can find it by dropping into the depths of alcoholism, but that person that gets everything finds it because they got everything and they're not finding the happiness like you were talking about earlier.
However you get it, it's all
So
good. Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You can go down and go up and still have to come to the middle where your heart is, where the love is. You still have to come back to that. So no matter what journey you take, it all leads to the heart.
Right. Do you believe in afterlife? Like, do you believe that this is it?
I believe that this is it because this is all there is, ever was, and ever will be. Do I believe that this body is it? No. This body isn't even existent.
I've never been stuck in my life for words before.
This mass that we call a body really isn't mass, right? It's really energy, right? At a lower vibration.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, we exist forever, on and on. Always have, always will. And actually, there is no time or space. So this is the only moment that has ever existed and will ever exist, and everything exists within this present moment. So then asking about an afterlife is like trying to stretch the moment.
You're busting me on semantics? Is that what you're doing here? Come on. What do you believe happens?
Well, my personal experience is that I have had other lifetimes on this earth plane, and I've experienced those other lifetimes on this
Have you
earth
ever
plane.
met somebody that you thought you've known?
Yes.
Literally?
Just happened with my guru. I had a very strong experience. First time I meditated, the guru that I just went to visit, first time I meditated with him, had a full vision of the past life I had with him. We've had it. Mm-hmm. We've spent several lifetimes together, usually as the crucified witch.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, you sound so convinced of that. I'm like, how did I mean, how? Whoa!
She
as
watched
crucified
me
witches.
get hung.
And I didn't stand up for her. That's
And
something
there's
we had
no
to work
LSD
through.
involved,
Exactly.
right? There's no LSD involved in this
No.
at all, right? This is
No, but if you saw when we get into our energy sessions, it might look like there's LSD involved. And I always said that because I did LSD in my early days, when I walked into the ashram and people were getting these crazy kriyas, I mean, it can look pretty crazy in a kundalini ashram. I mean, people are becoming animals, you know, peacocks and monkeys.
Yeah.
And
Is that ayahuasca? Are you doing
no,
that
this
too?
is meditation.
Okay,
No, this
just
is no
meditation.
drugs. I haven't done drugs since my early 20s. Once my Kundalini was awakened, no drugs.
Good for you.
Not interested. It was not interesting
Good
for
for
me.
you.
I'm
Good.
not saying that that's not a valid path. That was not my path.
Right.
So, but because I had done LSD in my earlier days, my early 20s, I think that when I started seeing what was happening with the Kundalini awakening, it didn't faze me. I had already, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right. You've already
And
seen it.
Yes. And the guru that I had at that time actually made LSD in the 60s. So he also came from that background, as did, Ram Dass and Timothy Leary. Timothy Leary didn't go the spiritual route. Ram Dass went the spiritual route, and you can see how diversely their lives went. So I think LSD opened a lot of people up to that. So I think for me personally, it was an opening to allow me to be opened to the crazy experiences of Kundalini yoga, of the awakened Kundalini. Because I've seen people that haven't done LSD and haven't had that kind of awakening in their younger years walk into that situation and get blown, kind of like I was blown by the LSD. My mind was not ready for LSD, and it blew my mind in scary ways. And I think that I've seen that happen to people walk into the awakened Kundalini who haven't had that experience previously. I mean, something's got to blow your mind at some point.
Right.
And you've done energy activation with Abdi, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I did that too. I didn't nothing.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes a while. I mean, sometimes people will come into a Kundalini session with me, when I was giving Shaktipat, and they'll have the full on, I felt my root chakra open, and it moved up and blew out every chakra and blew the crown chakra. And some people go, I didn't feel anything.
Well, you know what my takeaway was, and I told you this, right? I mean, I thought this was the total sexual thing. I mean, I'm not.
Abdi? You thought Abdi was sexual?
Not him personally, but what was happening. I'm looking around; these women are like orgasming all over the place. Like there's 100 women like going on. I mean, for 20 minutes a day. I'm like, everybody's. I'm literally. I swear to God, I'm like. I'm on candid camera or something. I'm just trying to act normal. I don't know what's going on here. This is bizarre.
I would have liked to have seen
I
that.
felt like...
I know.
I would have liked to have seen that.
But any Kundalini activation to him is, I think, a sexual orgasm.
No, what do you think? No. I'm watching what I'm watching. Forget about all of that.
Well, there is one girl, we know. One girl.
No, I'm just saying what I watch. He comes over, puts his hand on your fart, they drop like a noodle.
Right.
And then all of a sudden... I see movements that I've only seen, in one setting.
Right.
And it's happening, and then there's an entire, floor of these, scenes going on, right?
I can see how that would be confusing. And he doesn't explain things either, so...
Nor was I available. Like, he touched me on the head, I'll sit down.
The next time you
just
go,
did not be out of place.
I'm just saying that next time, because it was your first time you're on guard, now you know what it's like, and if you went again, you might actually allow more.
It's how you, Oh, listen, I had no idea what I was walking into. I had no idea. Right. Johnny Podell said that he had the hug from Amma. Have you met Amma? Mm-hmm. He said it was as high as he's ever been in his life. I got the hug from Amma. Man, I got just as much from Abdi. But I'm not available for it. Like, I don't know what that, entails.
I've also had some heard feedback from very spiritual people in complete different directions with Amma. So who knows?
Right.
Who knows?
Right. But if you're not available, one thing you do know, if you're not available, you're not getting it.
Right.
I think everybody has their own triggers. Certain things triggered me to my awakening. And, triggers or activations.
Yeah.
Like, some people will respond to what I bring, to what I do with the sound healing, and have an activation or an opening. And they might not respond to Kai as well, as far as doing separate things. But then it's the opposite. Someone else will respond to Kai, not necessarily respond to me. But it's all so you're gravitated towards what's going to open things for you. Mm-hmm. And that's what you go towards. Whatever your inclination is, your curiosity is, follow that. That's your trail to what's going to help you open, remember, activate, however you want to put it. We all bring different gifts. There's so many of us doing this work in so many different ways. It's so magical and creative and
there's also a lot of people that are conditioned way more than others. And there's a lot of that wall that has to be chopped down.
Well, that's it.
In order to open things up too.
They'll respond to somebody else who's maybe, closer to their energy signature, and that they can respond to. It's like I always see everybody as a bridge. Like I see you as a bridge. You're helping people from a world that don't even consider these types of things. So now you're interviewing us. So you're helping bridge that world.
Listen, I firmly believe that
Yeah.
that what you're doing is legitimate. You know, it's good and it's,
Yeah, but
and it's
you're
very
bringing healing
purposeful
for-
and useful. Yeah,
Yeah, for the
totally.
people that you're interviewing and interviewing us and other people, and the way you interview authentically, you're bringing authenticity to people who don't really live in a world of authenticity. So you're healing. You're doing healing work.
Yeah,
Take it, accept it.
I do.
Accept it.
From this pessimistic place, I can see, you know, that, and I can see it working for you. Just like in recovery, I wasn't getting sober. I kept coming back, going, yeah. I seen it working for other people. I mean, that was one thing I saw. And when I wasn't there, it was going on fine without me. You know? So it's either you surrender to what's better or you don't. And, you know, it takes what it takes.
It's a
But,
choice.
yeah.
What I do is I just surrender to the Shakti energy and I let her come forth and do what she wants to do. So we call it Shakti blessings because
Right. And how does it, how does it work?
Well, we need a willing participant.
You. And we'll combine it. We've just recently done this, so she'll do her Shakti blessing, and as she's doing that, I'll play the crystal bowl or the drum or both, and do voice toning, and that also is inspired by spirit. Just whatever happens to come through me comes through.
We literally, personally, I literally surrender. I will sit there, and a lot of times I do start with kirtan because I really feel that opens the heart. So you're singing in the name of the divine, and for me, that's really, and plus it's music, so it's opening your heart. And then we might go into some voice toning, or we might not. And then if we're doing a program with people, no matter what I'm doing, whether it's an individual session with someone or a program, I sit there and I close my eyes. And I just say, okay, I'm willing. I surrender myself completely, totally, and absolutely. And I just wait for the energy to come. And then she just does what she wants to do. So it's like you're watching your body move, you're watching your mouth speak, you're watching. And let me tell you something. What comes through me, if I was worried about judgment, you'll see that there's no way with the work that I do that I could be worried about judgment. Because it looks so bizarre and so obscure to the normal person.
Exactly.
That if I worried about judgment, I could not do the work that I do.
Right.
There's absolutely no way I could do the work that I do.
「 Ani